Test, test. Oh, yeah, this is a good speaker. There's seats in here if people want to come in. If you're standing out there, come on in. We'll get started. I don't have to sit this whole. We got some seats up front. Plenty of room in here, plenty of room.
I know, man.
Can you hear me all right? All right, good. Plenty of room. Come on in, guys. Come on in. All right. Somehow, I am Carrie Becker. I am your athletic director. Thank you very much for joining us today for this exciting announcement. Somehow, I knew this would be standing room only. So I deeply appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to come join us for this exciting announcement. First, thank yous. We nothing in none of your greatest accomplishments are done alone, and the decision to make this hire was certainly not done on an island. It took a lot of people, a lot of voices, to make sure that we got this right. Because the gentlemen in the back of the room deserve the absolute best, and we wanted to make sure that they got the absolute best. So first of all, thank you to Kurt Patberg. He was a search consultant with Mammoth Consulting. We decided to use a search firm for this search because we wanted to go far and wide and dig deep and get to know all the candidates that were possible out there. There's pros and cons to a search firm always, but the pros outweighed it this way because we talked to a lot of people, and even if those folks weren't interested, they knew who else might be out there for us to talk to. So when you use a search firm, it gives a lot of credibility to the search. It gives a lot of outside objective voices to the search, and so it always serves us well. And I've used Kurt Patberg in a number of searches, and very impressed with his ability to bring me candidates that I think wouldn't normally apply. Most people think people are lining up for jobs at Grand Valley, and they should be because this is a pretty special place, but they're not necessarily. So sometimes you have to do a little more explaining and go a little deeper to explain who Grand Valley is and how they can be successful here. Certainly want to thank my leadership, my president, my vice president, for allowing us to go down this path. Certainly the search committee that put in the time reviewing almost 100 applications, so we had quite a bit of interest in this. And I want to thank the team. Because you guys did a great job putting in some thought, putting in some time with each other, having discussions, and it gave me information about, one, what you were looking for, who you were, what your identity was, what was important to you, and then, even questions to ask, all the way through the process and meeting with the candidates to your insights. When the communication liaisons, the 4 that I selected, came and gave me the summary of all the 3 finalists, one of the most insightful conversations I've had in terms of how you looked at these candidates. It was really, really well done. And because you gave it that much attention and that much detail, that voice mattered, and it made a difference. It made a difference to me. So thank you, gentlemen, for taking the time out of your summer to do that. Want to thank all of my staff. When we brought the candidates on campus, we run them through a gauntlet, and so I asked my staff in the middle of the summer to get to know these candidates and make sure that they understand who Grand Valley is, because they're interviewing us too, because they got to make sure this is a place they want to come work. And so I wanted to thank my staff for that and the feedback that you provided. So with that and all of that information, I didn't see a guy from across town coming. I did not see a guy from Grand Rapids coming, and people question, why would you use a search firm if you're going to just hire someone from across town? Well, when you don't see, that's why you do those things, because you get people that maybe you wouldn't normally get. You don't know. I did not go into this search knowing what I would do or who I would do it, so that's why we did it a broad and deep search. But throughout the entire process, we had phenomenal candidates. We started with about 7 of them that we talked to, narrowed it down to the final 3. And this individual, throughout the entire process, every step of the way, solidified the 3 things that I think are really important to a coach. One being a CEO of a program. All of the things that go into running a program, from the administrative stuff that they love or don't love, to being thorough, being detailed. Someone that a CEO means they articulate their vision well, that they're organized in their thought and they know who they are, and they are who they say they are. And there's someone that I can see as a leader of doing the things, managing the things, and leading the people around their program, from staff to student athletes. So there's a lot of details into that allow them to be successful. Certainly a good coach, someone who can develop and can recruit. One, they can recruit and bring student athletes here that aren't the finished product, but having a great deal of upside and potential. Their ability to understand talent, but not even just that, but to develop that talent. How are they going to develop them and make them better? Because all of them come here with goals of achieving at the highest level. So how do they articulate and demonstrate those skills that are important to it? And as a coach, are they going to bring and be their best on their team's best and worst days? Are they going to bring and be their best on their student athletes' best and worst plays? Those are the things we were looking for. And then third, good human. Someone of high character. Someone that had values, that they didn't just say what they were, but you saw them come to life. They were reinforced when I called an enormous amount of people to talk about who this person was. And the values kept coming out. So that's consistency. That means you are who you say you are. Combined, it was very obvious that R.J. Budro was the right person for this job and to lead this team to the highest achieving level possible. And that always doesn't mean winning national championships, though he cringes, because every single one of the guys standing there, they have that dream. We always tell our coaches, we don't expect you to win national championships, we expect you to give them a shot. Just provide the environment they can be motivated and inspired in. Give them a shot. And then give everything you have to them, what you got in the cup that day, to help them get a little bit better every day. Help win a little bit every day. We have an anchor statement here at Grand Valley. Grand Valley Athletics is anchored in the relentless pursuit of greatness. And we do that, it comes to life through hard work, growth, trust, execution, and winning. Winning doesn't always mean first. The success of the day might be the success of the day, getting a little bit better every day. So I want to introduce, and before I do, is acknowledge his family, because we don't just hire one person. We welcome your family to ours. So Kelly Budro, Brinley, Danny, Lexi, and Carly, welcome to the Laker family. And now I'd like to introduce R.J. Budro, our next head men's wrestling coach.
Well, thank you all for being here for this special moment. Just not only for me, but I really feel like it's a special moment for the GVSU program. Special thanks to Ms. Carrie Becker and the committee that hired me. Your trust in me means a lot. It was a grueling interview process, and it was awesome at the same time. I got to know a lot about this place and what makes this place successful, about the guys that are part of this team, and my future with this university. And I'm truly grateful for Grand Valley State University for giving me this opportunity. And I just want to start with this, just to give you a little story. This is the least prepared you're going to see me. So when I found out that I was going to be the head coach here at Grand Valley, I jumped on a plane to Fargo, North Dakota to coach 6 of my guys in probably the best national tournament in the country. And so for 14 hours a day for 3 straight days, I coached those guys. And then some coaches on my staff rearranged their plans so they could drive me through the night. And we got back at 5 a.m. this morning. Put together a little something here, and super excited. But the work ethic and commitment that I just explained is what you're going to see out of me day in and day out. Whatever it takes, I'm going to rise to the occasion. So here we go. So I want to give some thank yous first. I want to thank God for this opportunity, first and foremost. I want to thank my family. Ms. Becker just announced their names, but the success that we've had at Lowell is not possible without them. They have so much excitement for this opportunity, but they have so much excitement for what we've done at Lowell. And they know all the guys by first name on the team. They are invested in what's going on within our program. I know they're excited to do that here. And just your unwavering support is really hard to put into words. So I love you guys and thank you. My coaching staff, there's a few of them here who've made it out. People always ask me, what's the secret to your success at Lowell? And the first thing that always comes to my mind is our coaching staff. It's a brotherhood. Our first core value is family, and they are my family. Their wives, their kids. And I know that what I'm leaving behind is going to be in such good hands, and the Lowell program is going to see a lot of success with those guys. The wrestlers, some of the guys, my wrestlers are on this Grand Valley team, but all the guys from the past and the present who put their trust into me. I mean, there's not a bigger honor than to have your wrestlers trust. They trusted in me to try to make them a better person each and every day. And the fact that they showed up to practice every day with a willingness, with an attitude of gratitude, it really inspired me to wake up every single morning to be a better person, not just for me, but just for them. And that's what has led to so much of our success. Our community at Lowell. If you guys have never been to Lowell, if you've never been to a wrestling match, you've never been to Pink Arrow, you've never been to the community to see it, it's a special place. And I want to thank the families, the parents, the local businesses that have invested into our program and helped create such a long-lasting legacy in the Lowell wrestling program, and also Lowell High School. I've been a school counselor for the past 20 years, and the administration has given me a lot of latitude to do some really fun and amazing things. We wrestled outside in the middle of Lowell. We've had assembly duels. We wrestle in front of our whole school. We've taken our team across the country to wrestle the best competition that we possibly can wrestle. And I plan to do that with our guys here at Grand Valley because I know that wrestling the best is what it's going to take, and learning from those experiences. From the staff, the teachers, the elementary school teachers, the high school teachers that trusted in me, that encouraged their kids to wrestle. Over 20% of the boys in our district have an experience with wrestling on any given year. And that just doesn't come because we have a great staff. It comes because there's trust from the community and there's trust from the teachers in our school. And then the students too. Not just the student athletes and the wrestlers, but the students that come to my office trusting me to give them advice on how to be a better person. That means a lot. And really what it's taught me is that, and Ms. Becker touched on it, every student deserves a chance. When they walk into my office, they deserve a chance. And I've learned a lot, and I plan to take that, the leadership lessons I've learned from that here to Grand Valley. I'd also like to thank all of the high school coaches across the state of Michigan. I can see a few of them here in the crowd. I think once coaches got to know who I was, because early on I was all about winning that state title. And the more I learned, it was about just wrestling as a whole and the opportunity to make each other better. And once I got to know coaches and they came up to my camp and they had an experience with me, or they came to Lowell to watch my practices, they knew that it wasn't just about me, it was about wrestling. It was about the opportunity to turn young men and women into better people through the sport of wrestling. And so, especially the people in the MWA, the Michigan Wrestling Association, your mentorship and collaboration were vital in my success, and I thank you for that. And also to the MHSAA, the Michigan High School Athletic Association, for always taking my phone call. I'm a man who wants to innovate and to try to push the line to where we can try to be better as a state, not just Lowell wrestling, but as a state. And they always took my call. They always took my ideas. They heard my ideas, and they gave me the thought of what a better perspective and to see something from all angles. And it's not just about me. It's about others as well. I'd also like to take an opportunity to acknowledge how I got to this point. I inherited the Lowell wrestling program from Dave Dean. Dave Dean is an absolute legend, and he's one of my closest mentors. He gave me the Lowell rep, handed it off to me in absolute phenomenal shape. And the program was built on foundation of community and service and serving others. And that program reached new levels because of our commitment to a set of core values. Doing that together, we decided that we were going to come together as a family and work together and instill the core values of our program. And I just see that opportunity here at GVSU. This program is already in great shape, and I see immense potential for us to elevate that even further. I believe that the talent, the foundation, the support that we have already is going to give us the opportunity to reach the highest potential, not just around this area, but in the country. And my goal is to harness that potential, to raise our standards, to bring this program to new heights, where we can be recognized not just as a powerhouse here, but a powerhouse across the country. And I also think about that, when I think about that, I think about the girls wrestling team that I'm going to get to work side by side with. The National Coach of the Year, Jake Short, I walked through here and he was working out with people already, this morning. And I hear that's a common thing. So, I'm excited to be a part of that, to push each other, and both of our programs can push each other to the highest possible levels. My decision to be a college coach, at the end of this high school wrestling season, it's hard to explain the feeling that I had, but there was this strong, strong feeling to embrace a new challenge. Not because I was unhappy with what was going on, but because of my excitement for the possibilities of something like a job at Grand Valley State University. When I made the decision to become a college coach, it was largely motivated by the opportunity to recreate the success I had done at Lowell High School, but on a bigger platform. To build a strong, sustainable program that was rooted in a solid foundation and investing in people and cultivating excellence. The plan and the vision for this program is to win, but the winning is going to be a byproduct of our hard work, of our discipline, of wrestling the best competition, of coming together and embracing a core set of values. And those values are going to be about being a family and doing this together. Our coaches and our wrestlers and our staff around us that I get to work with are going to be invested in creating men and women of integrity, of service, serving others, wrestling for not just us, but something bigger than ourselves, and doing all of that humbly. I've had the opportunity to meet with the guys a couple times, once in the interview and then once just now, and looking at those guys and the feedback and the body language that they're giving me, it's easy to see that there's a fire in their eyes. And I'm really eager to start working with them and helping them grow, not just on the mat, but in the classroom, in our community, and just as men and women. I'm super, super excited. So in closing, I just want to say that, I'm grateful for this amazing opportunity. I'm committed to building a program grounded in character and discipline and service. And I'm excited for the journey ahead and looking forward to working with our student athletes, our staff, our supporters, our alumni, and the entire GVSU family, and just having a massive impact, not just on the university, but just in wrestling in the state of Michigan. So I just want to say thank you for all of your support. Thank you for being here. And I just want to say go Lakers and anchor up.
For the media, we're going to do one-on-one from the backdrop after. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you all for coming. Appreciate you.
Yeah.